I'm Kenny Lowry, and today we're going to talk a little bit about the quality of pots or urns, different quality standards to make a fountain out of. All of our pots come from either Vietnam or China. They're a really hard quality fired pottery. Best way to tell if you ever go anywhere and you want to know the quality of a pot or if a pot is broken, or cracked, if you tap on it with a metallic object and it has a metallic ping to it, it means it's very quality, high temperature fired pottery. Now, this is a Vietnamese pot, and the Chinese pots are going to be basically the same way. Even the rustic fired things are going to have that metallic ping to it. And I'll grab the camera here in a minute and show you up close on some of this stuff. We had a call this week about our pots. Somebody was in San Diego, and they had been to their local area and they saw some Mexican pots. Now, Mexican pots may be okay for areas where you don't have a freezing and thawing going on. It's not as it's porous. Mexican pottery is porous. This is not. So that being porous, it'll draw moisture, and when the moisture gets in it, you throw in freezing and thawing, your pot will deteriorate. In areas where you don't have freezing and thawing, you may be able to get by with a Mexican pot, but in general, I don't make fountains out of any Mexican pots, just for that reason. We're in an area of the country where it freezes and thaws here throughout the winter almost daily, so we have to have a really hard, dense pottery that's not porous to be able to withstand the winters here. And I would recommend that for you too. Mexican pots may be okay, but I would not make a fountain out of a Mexican pot. Now, this is a Mexican chimenea. Now, these are good chimeneas. They're fired at a high temperature, not nearly what that is over there. And I'm going to tap on one of these right now, and you're going to hear the difference. That's a Mexican pot. You hear the higher pitch. That's a harder pot. Now, that's a Mexican pot that you can put a fire in. If you put a fire in one of these pots over here, it'll basically explode. It just can't expand. So the Mexican pot can. So you can actually put fire. That is a chimenea, so we build fires in those. That'll expand and contract. You can't do that in a Chinese or Vietnamese pot. So there are different advantages and disadvantages to what you're doing. But for water, I think you're going to be better off to stick with those high temperature fired pots. Now, if you tap on it and it's cracked, it's going to sound kind of a thud, almost like tapping on a block of wood. Or if you ever get a pot that's not fired properly, and pretty much all the glazed pots, if it's glazed, it's going to be fired hot because the glaze is melted glass. It has to be hot enough to melt that glass. With a painted pot like this is, it's not going to, you might get one once in a while that's not fired properly. It's not hot enough in the kiln. And when you tap on that, it's going to sound like a block of wood. You don't even want that for planters. That's going to deteriorate even just a rain. So when you go to buy a pot, keep these things in mind. These are just little tips through years and years and years of selling pottery. We drill pots here. We have them broken. We drill through them. We do all kinds of things to pots here. So we know what these pots are like on the inside, and we know the quality of them. So we only choose those to make fountains on them. Hopefully this will answer that question that we had on the blog here.